Hello everyone, it's Michael from Replica Airguns, and today we're taking a look at two CO2 4.5mm BB pistols. These ones are from EKOL, and they're the ES66 and the ES66C for compact. And this is the tabletop video. There won't be any shooting in this video, but I have done a chronograph test for my ES55, which is kind of like the compact version of the 66, okay? So this one I have chronographed, and it does get pretty close to the factory claimed FPS, right? A little bit over 400, not too bad. We'll get back to this one in a bit here. Alright, let's go over some of the specifications. These are non-blowback, all-metal air guns. They use 12 gram CO2 cartridges. They shoot 4.5mm steel BBs, and they have a 15-shot full-size dropout all-metal magazine that holds the CO2 and the BBs. These 4.5mm BB pistols have rifled barrels, which is a little bit unique. Not a lot of these BB pistols do. They both shoot in single and double action and have a claimed FPS of, well, in the manual it says 360 or 125 meters per second. But if you actually look at what 125 meters per second works out to in FPS, it's actually 410. So 360 versus 410, somewhere they didn't do the right math there. Now these pistols are made in Turkey, and they both come in hard shell cases. Take a look at these cases here. Well, they look pretty much like this, okay? So ES66 is the longer one. You have the C would be the shorter one, but they have the nice packaging. A couple examples in the back. Take it out here. So you've got your hard shell case, and then inside your case you have foam and a little manual. Take a quick look at it. Parts diagram, operation. And it shows you how to load it. Again, pretty much it. Now in terms of what these guns look like, I'm going to have to say my first go-to gun would be the Browning. Okay, this is the Browning High Power, and this is an Umarex Browning. It's all plastic gun, but you can see that, you know, especially when you look at the long version, very similar looking guns in a lot of ways. Okay, so I mean, that's probably the closest looking gun that it replicates. Not exact, it's different trigger guards and hammers and things like that, slightly different slide, but the basic shape is the same. Secondly, I'd say maybe it looks a little bit like a CZ75, although the CZ75, if you look at the way the slide overlaps, the slide actually, or the frame overlaps the slide versus the slide overlapping the frame, which you'd find on most guns. And you'll see the CZ slide, because of the way it overlaps, sits a little higher. Maybe it has a little less mass. Similarly, we have an EKOL. This is basically the Ares Magnum, and it's the blank gun version. This one shoots blanks, so it's got the full ejection port. Magwell opens up right in. Okay, this is a blank shooter. Okay, and similarly, we also have Ares Compact, and this is another blank gun. This is the Ares Compact, so it would be the compact version, sort of like the ES66, but in blank. Okay, and you can see they have the blank magazines. Alright, at this point let's do a walk around of these EKOL ES66 and 66C, compact version that is. I'm going to focus on the 66, show you around that gun. Now the compact version is pretty much the same gun, it's just a little shorter, so we'll just really rip through that one quickly at the end just to give you a quick show around. But we'll talk about the parts here on the 66. Okay, so you can see here we have the naming is just etched into there. Because it's chrome, it's a little shiny. Obviously we have our serial number. Now this guy doesn't really work so much because the slide does work. It doesn't lock back, but it does move back only when the magazine's out. When the magazine is in, it blocks the slide from moving back and forth. But because these are kind of taken from blank guns, you know, the slide does work because it was originally a blank gun with a working slide. It's kind of been modified into an air gun form. They've actually opened the mag well up a little bit, made it a little bit thicker, changed a few parts around inside, obviously, to accommodate the BB version of this gun. Again, this is the longer version, 66. Okay, we do have a magazine ejection button there. And you can see it's all metal magazine. Okay, load up your BBs. Pretty easy. You even got a little hole there for your BBs there to go into. 15 rounds. CO2 goes in here. We have a metal tab, which is nice. A lot of guns have plastic tabs. Not these bad boys. Nice wraparound grips. You know, we do have a decocker here, so our safety is a decocker as well. So not only does it block the hammer or the firing pin, it should stay in safe. Yeah, it's not the safest safety, is it? I guess it's really just a decocker. I thought it was a safety. You learn something every day. So because it's not making it safe, is it? So basically it's a decocker. Okay, so keep that in mind. Alright, and it is ambidextrous, so that's nice. Anything else on this side I want to show you? Not really. Let's take a look at the other side. You'll notice the ejection port is not cut out, it's molded in. I don't know if you could cut it out, I don't know if you'd want to. Probably wouldn't see anything exciting in there anyways. We do have some etching on the side, warning instructions. Okay, nice chrome finish. Again, our ambidextrous safety slash decocker, more of a decocker as we've established. You do have double action and single action. Okay, those grips again, all metal, pretty much everything. All the parts are metal, with the exception of the grips and probably some seals and things. Okay, you'll see when you pull the hammer back or the trigger back, you're going to get this barrel that goes in. That's just to basically, when the magazine is in, it basically the barrel goes into the magazine, creating a better seal, creating more, I guess, efficiency. You're going to get more FPS, more shots per CO2 because of that. Alright, your sights are non-adjustable. Alright. Really pretty guns though, I mean they're very nice. Let's just quickly show you around here. Really the only difference is the barrel length. Barrel length will give you less FPS, potentially. So we might see a little higher FPS, more than 420. I did get 420 with the ES55. So with these ES66s, it's potential we might get up into the 450s, especially on a warm day. Alright, just quickly look at it again. Cut out, not cut out ejection port. Alright. Again, really pretty guns. Now, I didn't mention it, they kind of are field strippable. You can undo this screw and the slide comes off the front, sort of pops up a little bit on the top and you can get inside of them. But they're not conventionally field strippable. You don't just pop out the pin and then you're into it. You're basically field stripping it. You do have to unscrew the gun. You know, again, not really sure about voiding warranties and things like that. It's pretty simple. I have done it. You just unscrew it and off comes the slide. But I'm not going to show you that today because, you know, anytime I have to use a screwdriver, I kind of feel like maybe it's not a great idea. So let's get into some of the pros and the cons. This gun has an all-metal construction. It's very heavy, has a very solid feel to it. Almost feels like more like a real gun than an air gun. Has decent accuracy and should have pretty good power, just like the ES55 did when I did the chronograph test. So check that out. I got right up to about 420 and it wasn't a very warm day. So the ES66 with a longer barrel on a warm day, you know, maybe the mid to high 400s should be pretty good. Now the safety is pretty much a decocker as we've established, but that's still kind of neat having the decocker. Not very many air guns have decockers on them. It's kind of a neat feature. It does have the nice full-size dropout metal magazine that hold the CO2 and the 4.5mm steel BBs. I do like the fact that it has a double action and single action trigger and hammer, although the double action is a little stiff, but not too bad. At least you have the ability to do more action shooting in double action. But again, you can slow it down, cock that hammer and shoot in single action if you're just trying to get more accurate shots. I like the ergonomic wraparound grips. Not really rubberized, more of a plastic or potentially a hard rubber grip, I'd say. And these EKOL BB guns are kind of rare here in Canada, so that could be a pro or a con. If you own one, that's a pro. If you don't, then you can't find one, that's a con. Alright, let's get into the true cons. Some parts don't function like the real steel version would, or the blank version like the slide release. The slide doesn't move back when the magazine's in. There's no slide catch release again, so that part of the gun isn't true to the blank version. Now the ejection port isn't cut out, so you can't see inside the gun. It's usually nice when they have the ejection ports cut out, look a little bit more realistic. Again, the sights are non-adjustable, so hopefully when I do the accuracy portion of the testing, outside testing, field testing that I do, hopefully these guns shoot well centered for me. Now the double action again is a little bit heavy, but that may work in over time. A lot of these all metal, fairly robust guns do need some break-in time, so I'd imagine the trigger will smooth out a little bit. Now before I sign off, I did want to mention that these EKOL guns are available in our Canada Replica Airgun store. There is limited supply. We do have a little bit of a connection to getting these, but that supply is limited. When they run out, they run out. Alright, I want to thank you for watching another Replica Airguns video. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Also come on down to replicaairguns.com where I'll have a written article for these pistols along with some photos you can check out. And again, we have our Canada and US online Replica Airgun stores where we sell air guns, BB guns, pellet guns, airsoft guns, blank guns, knives, and other accessories. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.